Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Marie. I live in New York and I love fashion, travel, and cultural events, and I'm asking you to join me on the adventure. We're leaving Paris. We've said goodbye to France, Antoinette, Lloyd, and Lisa. As usual, a little sad because it was a great trip. It was fantastic hanging out with them. But I'm on my way to Charles de Gaulle Airport because we're about to go to Morocco. I've never been to Morocco. This is a totally new experience, but I've been in love with Morocco for a very long time. I'm drawn to their design in architecture, in furniture, in jewelry. It's always been a land that has called me, and I'm finally getting to go. Our first stop is Marrakech, and then we'll be going to Fez, and then we'll be ending our tour in Tangier. In planning this trip, I knew I wanted to stay at a riad. A riad is a house that's been converted into a hotel, but it's not just a regular house, it's one of the old mansions in the Medina. The Medina is the old town. It's within the walls of the old city, and most riads are found there. And this was appealing to me not only because of the beauty and the mystery of a converted old mansion, but because the Medina was also where everything interesting about Morocco, Marrakech was for me. It's within walking distance of the Al Jamal Souk, the huge plaza. It's near several palaces, one of them which was right next door, the Bahia Palace. And it was also the site of many of movies, starting with James Stewart and Doris Day in The Man That Knew Too Much. There were the Red Atlas Mountains in the distance. Such romance. So I researched the riad and it fit all my needs, and it's called the Riad Tajani. And with them, they arranged for me to be picked up at the airport and brought to the riad, and there I would be greeted. So I had no idea what to expect. But from the minute the driver picked me up, I felt well taken care of, and we drove through the Red City. Why is Marrakech known as the Red City? Because of the red clay and is shown in their buildings. So the driver dropped us off at a parking lot that is at the entrance of our street, because the streets in the Medina are too narrow for cars. And from the car, we were picked up by Mohammed and Saeed, who carried our bags to this glorious place. Josie and Erica were already there waiting for us and getting a tour. And here I am just soaking in this beautiful home. This was more than I expected. I thought that they just took beautiful pictures, but the riad was gorgeous. And here's Amal, who greeted us with mint tea, which is a sign of hospitality in Morocco. And then they proceeded to give me a foot massage, which was their gift to me and welcoming me. Both Alex and I got one. And the minute I had that foot massage, I was like, I never need to leave this place. I don't need to see the souk. I don't need to buy anything. This is it. This is heaven. This is paradise. Oh my gosh. Then they took us to the rooftop where they had the table already set for our dinner. So we're sitting there on this rooftop with this beautiful breeze coming in, and we are being catered to at such a level. And the food was so good, and it was so beautiful. I wanted to weep. And my cousin Josie goes, I don't need to leave. I have everything. And I was like, oh my God, blood is thicker than water. It speaks, because that's exactly the same thing I said. We were in the same place. But luckily, Erica and Alex, we're having none of that. No, we're going to see Marrakech. Here is the food. It was so delicious. I thought that they were just picking it up from a restaurant and bringing it to us. And then I found out, no, this is the chef of the Riyadh, and everything, their desserts, their sweets, everything is homemade. Next day, this is breakfast, also served on the terrace with homemade yogurt.
Oh my God!
Homemade yogurt. How do I go back to New York and eat commercial yogurt? Anyway, next morning, I'm at the pool. It's hot in Marrakech, but not like Miami hot. So there's a nice breeze blowing in, so you feel very comfortable. So that pool was cold, but you know what? It woke me up. I felt invigorated. I loved it. And I loved that rooftop. Here's Erica, the movie star. Isn't that hat stunning? And then we went and got a guide to take us through the Medina and to the Souk and to the Jamal Plaza. But our first stop was the Baya Palace. And we learned about the hands on the door, which was the hand of Fatima, which is said to bring the household luck. So here we are at the Baya Palace, and he's giving us some background and talking about this king that had 1,000 concubines, but the first wife was the most important. And of course, the running joke became, I am the first wife and the favorite. Our tour guide was Yusuf, and he was filled with information and some good jokes. So here we are. He showed us the garden, and that's the most important place in the house because that's how Islam views heaven, the perfect garden. And here we are with the design that I love so much, the intricacy, the detail, the carvings, the inlays, and of course the inner courtyard, which I find such a stunning feature of a home or a palace. We were looking at the mosaics. He was telling us how this was once a palace, and then when the French came in, they took it over and made it a government building, and that each of the faiths is represented in the rooms, Islamic, the Jewish, and the Christian, and he helped us identify those symbols. The one thing the French added to this palace were the fireplaces and stained glass windows. So we walked through the rooms, we learned about some of the history, some of the meaning. We looked at the beauty of the place, and everywhere that your eye rested, there was some intricacy of design. He showed us where the concubines lived, and then we kept walking through, and we were going to see the rooms or the palace of the first wife. And here's the center fountain, which is crucial because there's always the cleansing before the prayers, which required 5 washings of the face and the hands and the feet. As I said, look at the details, look at the beauty of this place. In Marrakech, there are a lot of cats. You see them everywhere. And we asked Yusuf about this, and he said, well, you know, in Moroccan culture, they consider the cats very smart and very intelligent because unlike dogs, they would never work for the police. Here we are seeing the wares of Marrakech. We're seeing the black soap, the argan oil, the pottery, the silver craftware. It was just a beautiful day that deepened my understanding of the decorative and architectural elements of Moroccan design. So one of the big things in Morocco are the rugs and the pottery in that beautiful blue color. So here we are walking into a room where you will see some of this exhibited, the pottery, the cookingware. They also do copper, but the pottery and the design of the pottery and the colors That's also known and very beautiful. And yes, I wanted to carry some of that home. And my husband kept saying, "Our luggage is already overpacked. Where are you going to put this?" And from here, we're walking towards the wife's section of the palace. Now, this is the first wife section. She's the only one that had the importance to have this space. The concubines had to share space, the concubines and the eunuchs. So here it is, the first wife's bedroom. Look at that tablecloth that is still being designed. I saw this fabric still being designed. And it's beautiful, and the richness of color is the other thing that I so appreciate about Moroccan design, and that has influenced me my entire life. The light fixtures. It was just wonderful to be in a place that we had admired for so long. And of course, after the decorative arts of the home, there is the fashion, the jewelry, the clothes, which have remained timeless, which is known as traditional Moroccan dress. And here they are. I was oohing and eyeing the whole time, and Yusuf told me to have some patience, that he would take me to the House of Caftans. And the art was beautiful, depicting the indigenous people of Morocco, the Berbers, and they are also famous for the Berber rugs. From there, we were walking to the Al Jamar Square, and we were going to go deeper into the souk, to the merchants. And the three primary languages in Marrakech were French, English, and of course Arabic. And people switched depending on what your needs were. So we were walking, and as I said, Morocco is not hot. There's a nice breeze blowing, but the sun does beat down on you. And of course, I needed to stop. So we found a cafe and did some people watching. But the streets in Marrakech, in the Medina, were very busy. And there's no street signs. Sometimes there's no sidewalk. The people just have an instinct of how to walk about this town, which as a tourist, I was glad we had a guide, because there's motorcycles, there's donkeys, there's everything. And here we are at the House of Caftans. I love this place. He pulled out every caftan for us, and we found some. And at the end of the day, we had to take the tuk-tuk, which is a small vehicle that's basically on a motorcycle or a three-wheeler, to get us back home, because that was a lot of walking in that day. And so we were going back to the Riad, which of course no cars could get into except on a tuk-tuk. We took in the sights. We saw the snake charmers, we saw the vendors, we saw the residents of Marrakech, and we saw plenty of tourists. There was a lot of noise and activity. And it was truly wonderful, because I had never experienced anything like this, never been in a place like this, never saw anything like this. Although there was something very familiar about it, whether it was the heat, whether it was the fact that the residents spoke French, whether it was the great hospitality, it was something that brought me joy. If you enjoyed this, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.